Have you ever wondered how typing a simple website name instantly connects you to a massive computer across the planet? By the end of this video, you will understand the invisible phone book of the internet and how it translates human words into digital addresses in milliseconds. Welcome. Every single device connected to the internet has a unique numerical address, called an IP address, much like a house has a street address. But humans are terrible at remembering long strings of numbers like 192.0.2.1. Instead, we use friendly domain names like example.com. The domain name system, or DNS, acts as the giant, distributed translator that bridges this gap, turning the names we type into the numbers computers need to talk to each other. The entire journey begins the moment you sit at your computer, open a web browser, and type a website address into the address bar and hit enter. Before your browser can fetch a single image, video, or block of text, it faces a fundamental problem. It cannot send a request across the internet using just a domain name. It urgently needs the numeric IP address belonging to that specific website server to proceed any further. Before asking anyone else for directions, your computer likes to check its own memory to see if it already knows the answer. This temporary storage is called the Local DNS Cache. Your operating system and your web browser both maintain a log of recent website visits. If you visited this website earlier today, the IP address might still be sitting right there in your local memory, allowing your device to skip the entire search process instantly. If the address is not found in your local cache, your computer has to ask for help from the outside world. It sends a formal request to a special server called a DNS Recursive Resolver. Think of this resolver as your personal investigative assistant, usually provided by your internet service provider or a public service. Its sole job is to take your request and do all the heavy lifting required to find the correct IP address. When the recursive resolver receives your request, it starts at the very top of the global DNS hierarchy by contacting a root name server. There are 13 sets of these root servers strategically distributed around the planet. The root server does not know the exact IP address for your website, but it acts like a master librarian who looks at the tail end of your web address, sees the .com extension, and points the resolver toward the specific top-level domain server. Following the directions from the root server, our diligent resolver now knocks on the door of the appropriate top-level domain server, or TLD server. If you are looking for a .com address, it visits the .com TLD server. If you are looking for .org, it visits the .org server. This TLD server maintains a massive directory of all domain names ending in that specific extension and directs the resolver to the next stop. The final destination in our global search is the Authoritative Name Server. This server is managed by the organization or hosting provider responsible for the specific website you are trying to visit. Because this server holds the official, definitive records for that domain name, it can finally provide the exact, up-to-date IP address back to our recursive resolver, completing the investigative chain of command. As the resolver receives the final IP address from the authoritative server, it does something very smart. It saves a copy of this answer in its own temporary memory, adhering to a rule set by the domain owner called time to live. By caching this result, the resolver ensures that if another user nearby asks for the exact same website address in the near future, it can answer immediately without repeating the global search. With the IP address safely in hand, the recursive resolver sends the final numerical answer back across the network to your original device. Your computer receives the IP address and stores it in its own local cache for future convenience. The mystery of the domain name is officially solved, paving the way for your browser to establish a direct, digital connection to the destination server. Now that your computer finally knows the exact numeric IP address of the website server, the DNS portion of the journey is completely finished. Your browser immediately uses this newly acquired IP address to send an HTTP request directly to the web server. The server responds with all the code, styles, and media files, allowing your browser to render the gorgeous web page right on your screen. And that is how the domain name system works. From your initial keystroke, through the recursive resolver, root servers, and authoritative records, DNS orchestrates a massive global lookup in a fraction of a second. Understanding this foundational system helps demystify how the internet connects humanity every single day. Thank you for watching, and keep exploring how technology works behind the scenes.